So I'm here in the Concept 2 StrengthErg, and we got to talk about it because the StrengthErg is different. So a lot of people asking me, what's it like? And I really just can't compare it to anything else. It's not like lifting barbells. It's not like kettlebells. If you've got a dumbbell and a kettlebell and you're pressing them up, the weight sits a little bit differently, but the way the weight feels is very similar. You can say a kettlebell is similar to dumbbell, and you can say a dumbbell is similar to kettlebell. Where this is just not like anything else in the strength world at all, because you've got this concentric resistance. So say a chest press. So if I'm doing a barbell bench press, I'm pushing the weight up, I've got the weight over me, I've got the concentric and the eccentric. With this is super hard to push, like really hard. That's real resistance up against the fan there. It's real resistance. But here, there's nothing. I'm unloaded. So I can get this and I can push this and try and push this as far away from me as I possibly can. So I can accelerate through the movement. Sometimes with a barbell, unless you've got bands and chains on it, you can't really accelerate through the movement and you come to a natural end. Sometimes if you press really fast, you can bounce yourself off the bench. But you're coming to this natural end. With this, it's resistance all the way up to the final second. In fact, it gets harder and harder as you push. It's also dialing in the load. So here it might be easier, might get harder. And like I just pushed that easy, so it gave me next to no resistance there. But if I push this really hard, at each stage of this lift, it's giving me a little bit different resistance. Not only that, every single rep is different. So on a barbell, if I put 60 kilos on the barbell, it's 60 kilos for 10 reps. This might be 70 kilos, 50 kilos, 110 kilos. It changes your rep to each set. So your set of 10, as long as you're mindfully pushing as hard as you possibly can, whether it's leg press or the row on this, the machine is giving you perfect resistance on what you can do that day. There's nothing else like it, apart from maybe the Concept 2 ERG machines. If you've ever done a 200-meter sprint on the bike or 100 meters on the rower or skier, it's that kind of, you start off really well and then your power drops off after time. So you're trying to get up to your top speed and you're trying to maintain your top speed, but there's always a drop off in power because your ability to reproduce power gets debilitated. So the machine is so cool for that. It's really not like anything else. Like I said, if you set up a barbell, it's giving you the same resistance up and down. So maybe 10 reps with 60 is super easy and only the last 2 are hard. With this, it's hard from rep 1 to end 1, and each rep can be totally different. So there really isn't anything like the Concept 2 StrengthErg in the gym. There are other flywheel style trainers. I've got one here called the Handy Gym. That's kind of similar, but it's not set up in this machine style where the Handy Gym and even maybe something like the Voltra are connected to your rack and you're pulling them. With this is set up and really designed, not just to give you the flywheel and then you attach it to things. It's here on the machine, giving you these 3 excellent movements: seated row, chest press, and leg press. Those 3 movements, you know, they're your bread and butter, or something in their family is your bread and butter, which is really good to do. Not only that, because it's concentric only, you can train on this a lot without causing more muscle damage. But I think a lot of people will think that's a pro or a con, but what I really think with that is, I used to do loads of skier and nothing blew up my tricep quite like doing loads of skier. And that's concentric only on the way down. That's only a concentric tricep extension as part of that movement. Same on rowing machine. When you're pulling, I felt my bicep completely blow up in rowing, but it's a concentric only. There's no load on the eccentric there at all. Same on the bike erg. So the bike erg, you're pedaling really hard, you feel your legs swell up. If you look at cyclists, some of them tend to have really big muscular legs, and a lot of that is concentric only. I know people will say, oh, but if you've got clip-in pedals, you will get an eccentric part on that movement. Yeah, of course you do, but a lot of people who are just jumping into the gym and blasting out, say a 2K or a 1K on the bike, their legs will swell. Also, you know, sprinting compared to endurance, sprinting and using more power builds more muscle, or builds the larger muscle, which is really useful. Strength generally is really useful. So all this to say, The StrengthErg is different, and I just can't wait for more people to have a shot on it. And just their surprised face when they come in here and they use it and they're like, holy moly, this thing is legit. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want some more Concept 2 StrengthErg videos, click this one next.